Welcome. Welcome to the First Congregational Church of Long Beach. We are a proud member congregation of the United Church of Christ, and every time we gather, we say, no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. My name is Elena Larson. I serve as senior minister. I am joined by the Reverend Tom Emmanuel, our associate minister. And we invite you to enter into this sacred time of reflection as we observe Good Friday with a service of Tenebrae, walking through the events that lead to the crucifixion. I invite you to center yourself, to gather yourself into this sacred time. And I welcome you, knowing that you are part of an invisible but connected community. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near, Spirit draw near. God is my light and my hope. Whom shall I fear? God is the strength of my life. Whom shall I dread?
I am seeking your presence, O God.
Do not abandon me to my foes. There are people who hate me.
There are things that control me. There are places that frighten me.
Trust in God. Stand fast and have courage. Help us this night not to fall away.
Strengthen our faith, increase our love for one another, and give us the courage to endure. Amen. The festival of unleavened bread, which is called Passover, was approaching. The leaders were looking for a way to kill Jesus because they were afraid of the people. Then the spirit of evil entered Judas, called Iscariot, who was one of the 12. He went out and discussed with the leaders how he could hand Jesus over to them. They were delighted and arranged payment for him. And he agreed and began looking for an opportunity to hand Jesus over to them, a time when the crowds would be absent.
Jesus said, Simon, Simon, look, the spirit of evil has asserted the right to sift you all like wheat. However, I have prayed for you so that your faith won't fail. When you have returned, strengthen your brothers and sisters. And Peter responded, Teacher, I'm ready to go with you, both to prison and to death. And Jesus replied, I tell you, Peter, the rooster won't crow today before you have denied 3 times that you know me.
Jesus and his disciples came to a place called Gethsemane. Jesus said to them, "Sit here while I pray." And he took Peter, James, and John along with him, he began to feel despair and was anxious. He said to them, "I'm very sad. It's as if I'm dying. Stay here and keep alert." Then he went a short distance farther and fell to the ground. He prayed that if possible, he might be spared the time of suffering. He said, "Abba, for you all things are possible. Take this cup of suffering away from me. However, not what I want, but what you want." He came and found them sleeping, and he said to Peter, "Simon, are you asleep? Couldn't you stay alert for 1 hour? Stay alert and pray, so that you won't give in to temptation. The spirit is eager, but the flesh is weak." Again he left them and prayed, repeating the same words. And again, when he came back, he found them sleeping, for they couldn't keep their eyes open, and they didn't know how to respond to him. He came a third time and said to them, "Will you sleep and rest all night? That's enough. The time has come for the human one to be betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up. Let's go. Look, here comes my betrayer."
I could not hold on to him, but I embraced him.
I was his cocoon, and his spirit transformed and found bright wings of love.
Could not hold on to him, but comforted him in the dark and quiet.
I let him rest and know he'd completed his task.
I could not hold on to him, but gave him courage.
That his light and wisdom could flow through the divine and into many hearts.
A crowd appeared, and the one called Judas, one of the 12, was leading them. He approached Jesus to kiss him. Jesus said to him, "Judas, would you betray the human one with a kiss?" When those around him recognized what was about to happen, they said, "Teacher, should we fight with our swords?" One of them struck the high priest's servant, cutting off his right ear. Jesus responded, "Stop. No more of this." He touched the slave's ear and healed him. Then Jesus said to the ones who had come to get him, "Have you come with swords and clubs to arrest me? As though I was a thief? Day after day I was with you in the temple, but you didn't arrest me. But this is your time when darkness rules."
Then Pilate called together the chief priests, the rulers, and the people. He said to them, "You brought this man before me as one who was misleading the people. I have questioned him in your presence and found nothing in this man's conduct that provides a legal basis for the charges you have brought against him. Neither did Herod, because Herod returned him to us. He's done nothing that deserves death. Therefore, I'll have him whipped. Then let him go." But with one voice they shouted, "Away with this man! Release Barabbas to us!" Barabbas had been thrown into prison because of a riot that had occurred in the city and for murder. Pilate addressed them again because he wanted to release Jesus. They kept shouting out, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" For the third time, Pilate said to them, "Why? What wrong has he done? I found no legal basis for the death penalty in his case. Therefore, I will have him whipped, then let him go." But they were adamant, shouting their demand that Jesus be crucified. Their voices won out. Pilate issued his decision to grant their request.
As they led Jesus away, they grabbed Simon, a man from Cyrene, who was coming in from the countryside. They put the cross on his back and made him carry it behind Jesus. A huge crowd of people followed Jesus, including women who were mourning and wailing for him. Jesus turned to the women and said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, don't cry for me. Rather, cry for yourselves and your children." They also led 2 other criminals to be executed with Jesus. When they arrived at the place called the Skull, they crucified him, along with the criminals, one on his right and the other on his left. Jesus said, "Abba, forgive them, for they don't know what they are doing."
It was now about noon, and darkness covered the whole earth until about 3 o'clock, while the sun stopped shining. Then the curtain in the sanctuary tore down the middle. Crying out in a loud voice, Jesus said, "Abba, into your hands I entrust my life." After he said this, he breathed for the last time. When the centurion saw what had happened, he praised God, saying, "It's really true. This man was righteous." All the crowds who had come together to see this event returned to their homes, beating their chests after seeing what had happened. And everyone who knew him, including the women who had followed him from Galilee, stood at a distance, observing these things.
Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I give to you not as the world gives. Don't be troubled or afraid. You have heard me tell you, I'm going away and returning to you. I have told you before it happens, so that when it happens you will believe. I won't say much more to you, because this world's ruler is coming. Get up. We're leaving this place.